Hello and welcome back, Stoic 24. Today we're diving into 11 hidden psychological truths about women that every Stoic man must understand. Not to manipulate, but to master himself. Most men never learn these truths. They react, chase, and crumble, while Stoic men observe, reflect, and lead. By the end of this video, you'll be one of the few who doesn't just chase women, but actually understands them. If you value wisdom over gimmicks, self-mastery over seduction tricks, give this video a like. It tells the algorithm that real men still exist. And if you're new here, subscribe for more Stoic truths every week. Now let's begin with the first truth. Psychological fact 1. Women aren't attracted to your words. They're drawn to your energy. You could memorize every clever pickup line, read every dating book, rehearse 1,000 perfect responses, and still fall flat. Why? Because women don't respond to rehearsed charm. They respond to your presence, your calm, grounded, unapologetic presence. You could say absolutely nothing, but if you're standing tall, breathing deeply, eyes steady and unshaken by chaos around you, she will feel it. Not just see it, feel it. Because attraction isn't logical, it's primal, it's emotional, and most of all, it's energetic. Women don't want a man who performs. They want a man who simply is. And if you constantly need to prove yourself, you're unknowingly broadcasting weakness. Think about this. You're in a room, 2 men enter. One talks fast, tries to dominate every conversation, name drops, cracks forced jokes hoping people notice him. The other walks in slowly, says little, but looks every person in the eye like he's got nothing to prove. Guess who gets the attention? Especially from women, the one who doesn't need it. That's not arrogance, that's inner stillness. That's what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The first man seeks approval. The second man lives by principle, not performance. So stop trying to say the right thing and start becoming the right man. Let your silence speak. Let your energy walk into the room before your words ever do. Women don't fall in love with your sentences. They fall for your certainty, your discipline, your quiet strength, your ability to be calm in chaos. Stoicism teaches us to be unmoved by praise or blame, because true power is internal. And when that power is felt, women notice. Not because you chased them, but because you didn't have to. Fact 2. A woman tests you not to hurt you, but to reveal you. You'll feel it before you understand it. The sudden coldness, the delayed reply that wasn't like yesterday, a comment that feels like a jab, or a mood shift that seems to come from nowhere. She's not attacking you. She's watching you. She's looking not at your words, but at your reaction. Most men flinch here. They get needy. They get angry. They start chasing, demanding, explaining, or retreating. But what they don't see is this. She's pulling back not to break you, but to see you. To see if your confidence is real, or just a performance that crumbles under emotional pressure. And in that moment, the man who reacts fails. The man who responds with calm clarity earns something deeper. Her trust. A woman doesn't need a man who controls her. She needs a man who controls himself. That's the essence of Stoicism. Mastering your own mind before trying to understand the world or a woman. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And nowhere is that more true than in love. When she throws you a storm, it's not because she wants to see you drown. It's because she wants to see if you can stand still in the rain without flinching. So next time she tests you, stay grounded. You're not being punished, you're being revealed. And the man who passes that test is the one she respects when the game ends and the masks fall. Fact 3. Women fall for how you make them feel, not what you provide. Let's get this straight. Your net worth isn't your real worth. Sure, money, looks, status, they open doors, but they don't make her stay. Why? Because emotion crushes logic every single time. You could be the richest man in the room dressed in a $1,000 suit, but if your presence feels cold, insecure, or fake, she feels it, and she walks. Women remember how you make them feel, not what you show them. That's why the guy who makes her laugh, makes her feel seen, or stirs her soul with just a look He wins every time. Think about it. You ever seen a woman leave a man who gave her everything for a man who gave her nothing except a feeling she couldn't explain? That's not madness. It's nature. Emotional connection is the battlefield, not bank accounts. As Seneca once said, a gem cannot be polished without friction. Stop trying to be the polished, perfect provider and start being the man who brings tension, mystery, presence. Be grounded, not just gifted. Be raw, not just rich, because in the end, your presence should be louder than your possessions. This isn't about playing games. It's about being the man who makes her feel alive. A Stoic doesn't chase approval. He embodies purpose. He's not trying to prove his value with things. He lives it. When you walk into a room, let your silence speak confidence, your eye contact speak safety, and your composure speak power. That's the kind of man a woman remembers, not because of what he had, but because of how he made her feel. Fact 4. Her attraction builds in silence. Most men panic in the quiet. A few hours go by without a text, and their minds spiral. Is she losing interest? Did I say something wrong? Should I double text? That emotional restlessness is the very thing that repels her. Because what you don't realize is, her desire doesn't grow in the noise. It grows in your absence. In the echo of silence when you're not chasing, explaining, or over-validating. That's when you're most alive in her mind. That's when she starts to imagine you, to wonder, to feel. You don't need to constantly update her, or remind her that you exist. In fact, when you're detached, when you're calm in your solitude, when you're focused on your purpose instead of her approval, that's when you become unforgettable. A man who doesn't beg for attention commands it. A man who can walk away, who doesn't fear distance, becomes rare in her world. And we all know, women are drawn not to availability, but to mystery. And mystery isn't some manipulative tactic. It's the natural aura of a man who is whole, without needing anyone else to complete him. The Stoics understood this power deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." When you're centered, when you don't flinch in her silence, you radiate strength. Because silence isn't a threat, it's a mirror. And if your reflection shows calm, purpose, and presence, then she feels it. She doesn't need a notification. She feels the gravity of your energy without a single word. That's when she becomes curious. That's when she starts replaying your words, your demeanor, your mystery. And brother, that's when the chase flips. Fact 5. Women admire the man who doesn't flinch. When life hits hard, and it will, most people react. They lash out, they beg for understanding. They collapse under pressure, hoping someone else will come fix the mess. But a truly grounded man does something different. He breathes, he steadies himself, and then he moves forward with calm, deliberate steps. That kind of unshakable presence doesn't scream for attention. It commands respect, especially from women. Why? Because chaos is inevitable, but character is rare. Imagine you're in a relationship, and suddenly, everything goes sideways. She's overwhelmed, emotional, maybe even throwing verbal jabs your way. Most men react, argue back, get defensive, or worse, shut down. But the man who can stay centered, who listens without ego, responds without rage, and holds the emotional storm without losing himself, that's the man she remembers. That's the man she trusts. Because in that moment, he becomes the anchor she didn't know she needed. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Think about that. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being immovable in your values, steady in your reactions, and disciplined in your perception. Women don't need a man who tries to fix every problem. They crave the man who doesn't flinch in the presence of one. Because that man radiates safety, strength, and self-control. And in a world full of noise, that kind of silence, that kind of stability, it speaks volumes. Fact 6. Women mirror your internal world. This isn't just some cliché. It's a raw truth about human connection, especially between men and women. When you walk into a room carrying anxiety or uncertainty, it's like a silent alarm going off. Women, whether consciously or not, pick up on your energy. They don't just see the surface, they feel the undercurrents beneath your words and gestures. If your mind is restless, their guard rises. But when you're calm, centered, and fully present, that quiet confidence radiates like a beacon, inviting softness and trust. It's not about pretending to be strong. It's about being deeply grounded in who you are, even in chaos. Think about those times when you've been rattled by stress, doubt, or fear. Maybe it was a date, a conversation, or a moment where you wanted to impress but ended up stumbling inside your head. Did she lean in or did she hesitate? Did the connection deepen or did the space between you grow cold? The reality is this: your internal state shapes how the world reacts to you, especially in intimate moments. Women reflect not just your words, but the invisible emotional climate you carry. When you're lost, confused, or anxious, they instinctively pull back, sensing the lack of security. But when you're grounded, even silently strong, they soften. Their walls drop and something real begins. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the core of Stoic mastery, understanding that your inner world is the root of your reality. Master your breath, control your thoughts, and regulate your reactions. That's where attraction truly begins. It's not about tricks or games, but about being a man who commands his own energy with quiet authority. When you embody this, you don't chase connection. Connection flows to you naturally. Women aren't puzzles to solve. They are mirrors reflecting the clarity or chaos inside you. So ask yourself, what energy are you showing to the world today? Because that energy is your true magnet, and it's always speaking louder than words. Fact 7. Emotional control is the new dominance. Forget the outdated alpha posturing. The loudest roar doesn't make you the king of the jungle anymore. True dominance isn't about intimidation or forcing others into submission. It's about mastering yourself when the world tries to shake you. Women today aren't looking for a man who explodes at the slightest criticism or crumbles under rejection. They want a rock, steady, unshakable, reliable. Emotional control is that rock. It's not about shutting down your feelings or pretending they don't exist. Real emotional control means you feel deeply, but you don't act impulsively. You discipline your inner chaos, choosing your response rather than being a slave to your reactions. That's the mark of true strength. Think about the last time someone pushed your buttons. Maybe it was a harsh word from a partner or a cold shoulder from someone you cared about. Did you lash out, or did you hold your ground silently? That moment, when your instincts scream to break, but you instead breathe, stay calm, and respond with measured clarity, that's your real power shining through. It's the kind of strength that makes others respect you, not out of fear, but out of genuine admiration. Marcus Aurelius taught that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the essence of Stoic masculinity, mastering the self when the storm rages. The world is full of men who lose control. Be the one who holds it, and you become unstoppable. Men reflect on this. Dominance that breaks or dominates others is fleeting. But dominance that commands your own emotions? That builds an unbreakable foundation beneath your feet. This is your calling, not to be a dictator of others, but the ruler of yourself. That is the new alpha, and it's rare because it demands courage. The courage to face your inner battles without surrender. Fact 8. She falls in love with your mission first. If your entire world spins around chasing women, you become like a moth circling a flame, desperate, scattered, and ultimately repelling. Women instinctively sense when a man lacks purpose, when his life is hollow and dependent on validation from others. But when a man is driven by a mission, something bigger than fleeting pleasures, he becomes magnetic in a way no flashy trick or empty promise ever could. Purpose isn't just about career or money. It's about building something meaningful, creating value, living with intentionality every single day. A man on a mission is a man who commands respect without demanding it. Think about the man you admire most, whether it's a historical figure, a mentor, or even a friend. What makes him stand out? It's not his charm or how many people he's dated. It's his unwavering dedication to something he believes in. Maybe he's building a business, raising a family, or pushing himself physically and mentally beyond limits. That dedication is irresistible because it shows strength, vision, and self-respect. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You can't fake this. Women don't fall in love with what you say, they fall in love with what you are. A man who lives by his word and moves with relentless purpose. Here's the hard truth every man must hear. If you want a woman who stays, not just a fleeting spark but a lasting flame, build a life that commands attention because it matters. Your mission is your silent, unstoppable seduction. Without it, even the strongest physique or smoothest words will fade into background noise. With it, you become the man she's drawn to, for a night, for years, for a lifetime. So ask yourself, what am I building? What legacy am I creating? Because your mission isn't just about you. It's the foundation on which your entire life and love will stand. Fact 9. Her words are rarely the full story. When a woman says, "I'm fine," don't be fooled into thinking that's the end of the conversation. Words, especially simple ones like these, often mask layers of emotion, doubt, or pain. The ashai, literal meaning, is just the surface. What matters is the energy behind it, the hesitation in her voice, the way her eyes shift when she says it. A man who only hears words without reading between the lines is blind to the true message. Life doesn't speak in black and white. It's a symphony of signals. Imagine a moment when she pulls away after an argument or after you've tried to reach her. It's tempting to take that distance at face value. She's upset, she wants space. But sometimes that distance is a test, a silent call to prove your patience, your steadiness. Other times it's a wall she's built because trust isn't there yet. The real challenge is to stay calm, to resist the urge to react emotionally. A Stoic man understands that control over his own mind is his greatest strength. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over, steady, unmoved, and seeing clearly beneath the surface. This teaches us a crucial lesson. Don't get trapped in literal translations of what is said. Instead, tune into the emotional undercurrents and long-term patterns. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about mastering emotional intelligence, staying grounded while others pull and push with their feelings. This is the mark of true strength. Hearing what is not spoken and responding with clarity, not confusion. In love and life, clarity is power. Fact 10. Women want to feel chosen, but not chased. Here lies a subtle but life-changing truth for every man who's ever felt frustrated, desperate, or powerless in relationships. Women want to feel valued, to know that you've chosen her. Not because she begged or demanded it, but because you saw her worth without hesitation. This isn't about grand gestures or constant texting. It's about your presence and attention given freely, without a price tag attached. When you give your time as a gift, without conditions, you radiate strength, and that is magnetic. Contrast this with chasing, when your self-worth hinges on her responses, when every text goes unanswered and every silence chips away at your confidence. Neediness is a silent killer of attraction because it shows uncertainty and weakness. A man who chases becomes desperate. Desperation smells like fear, and fear repels. But a man who chooses himself first, who is anchored in his own values and purpose, becomes unshakable. He offers his presence from a place of abundance, not lack. Seneca taught, "He who is brave is free," and true bravery in love is the courage to hold your own worth above any outcome. Remember this: to choose a woman means to include her in your life on your terms, not to lose yourself trying to win her approval. When you stand firm in your own identity, you give her the rare gift of feeling truly chosen, because you are a man who respects himself first. This distinction is the line between respect and desperation, between connection and confusion. A man who understands this is a man who commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he embodies it. 11. The moment you stop needing her, she becomes more drawn to you. There's a timeless paradox in relationships that most men never fully grasp, and it cuts straight to the core of self-worth and freedom. When you cling, when your value feels tied to her approval or presence, you're unknowingly pushing her away. It's like holding water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. But the moment you stop needing her, the moment you realize your completeness lies within yourself, not in her, that's when the dynamic shifts. You become a force of quiet strength, not desperate energy. And this shift, this detachment from dependency, it's magnetic. Think about it in real life. How many times have you chased after someone, texting more, calling more, trying harder, and felt the exact opposite of attraction growing? Now imagine a man who walks into a room with calm confidence, who doesn't seek validation or approval, because his peace isn't chained to anyone else's actions. Women, like people in general, are drawn to that kind of energy. It's not arrogance, it's grounded power. It's the man who's full on his own, and therefore can give without fear or neediness. She senses it intuitively. This man is a rock, not a storm. This idea resonates deeply with Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed." But the truth here is also your truth, that your peace and value are your own, not up for negotiation. Epictetus taught that freedom comes when we stop being slaves to external things, including the approval or presence of others. When you embrace this, you reclaim your power. And ironically, this freedom makes you the most desirable man you can be, because nothing is more attractive than a man who has already conquered the inner battle, who walks in the world whole. And that, my friend, is truly irresistible. Conclusion. Now you know what 93% of men never figure out. Women aren't looking for perfect men. They're looking for emotionally grounded men, men with mission, presence, and control. In a world of noise, be the quiet man she can't ignore. If this video helped you see dating from a higher perspective, drop a 1 in the comments. If you want more practical videos like this, Type Stoic dating. And remember, you don't attract what you chase, you attract what you embody. Until next time, stay grounded, stay stoic.